Welcome to this explainer. Okay, today we're diving into the microscopic machinery operating inside you right this very second. It's machinery that fires faster and honestly way more efficiently than any supercomputer. We're going to decode the exact biological structures that make literally every thought, feeling, and movement possible. Let's get right into it. Okay, let's dive into this. Here's our roadmap for today. First, we'll meet the neuron, then we'll check out the dendrites, the cyton, the axon, and finally, the synapse. So part 1, meet the neuron. A neuron, or nerve cell, is the absolute structural and functional unit of your nervous system. Basically, you can think of it as the foundational building block of human biology. Without this single microscopic unit firing flawlessly, the whole complex network of our nervous system just wouldn't exist. It's really the core player in all of your body's control and coordination. So the crucial point to remember here is that information always flows in a highly regulated, strictly one-way journey. It's a very precise 4-step process. It starts at the dendrite, moves right into the cyton, travels swiftly down the axon, and finishes up at the nerve ending, which is where the synapse occurs. It's just a beautifully organized chronological pathway for biological data. Moving on to part 2, dendrites, receiving the signal. The journey starts with these guys, the dendrites. These are tiny hair-like structures reaching out into their environment, kind of like delicate little antennae. They're constantly listening, right? Waiting with anticipation for that microscopic spark. And when they successfully catch a stimulus, it arrives in the form of an electric impulse. They grab onto that input, officially starting the clock on our signal's rapid journey through the cell. Let's move to part 3 and see how this builds. Cyton, the cell body. Once that electrical signal leaves the dendrites, it immediately drops into the cyton. You can really think of the cyton as the cell's main headquarters. It consists of a few critical components. First up, there's the nucleus, which basically acts as the CEO, holding the center coding for the cell. Surrounding that nucleus is the cytoplasm, which is like the bustling office floor, filling the interior. And working on that floor are these unique biological structures called Nissl granules. They're specialized workers processing the impulse as it flies through this busy central hub. Next up, part 4, axon, the transmission cable. The axon's elongated shape actually perfectly matches its job. If the dendrites are the antennae and the cyton is the headquarters, while the axon is definitively the biological wire, its sole purpose is to take that electric impulse and safely transmit it away from the cyton, carrying it all the way down to the nerve ending. But this biological wire isn't just sitting there bare and exposed. Just like an electrical cord in your house needs insulation to work properly, so does the axon. It's wrapped in a protective covering known as the myelin sheath, which protects that traveling signal. But here's the cool part. It's not one continuous tube. It's actually punctuated by specific gaps called the nodes of Ranvier. You can think of these nodes as microscopic speed boosters or little checkpoints that help the signal zoom down the wire without losing an ounce of strength. Arriving at part 5, synapse, passing it on. And this brilliantly illustrates how the entire A to B journey of the neuron comes down to this one handoff. The input end, the dendrites, grab that initial stimulus. But here at the output end, the nerve ending, that input has to be pushed out and prepped to be handed off to the very next neuron. This intricate handoff process, this absolutely critical junction between the nerve ending of one cell and the start of another, is where the synapse takes place. It's literally the ultimate microscopic relay race. Let's take a quick moment to absorb this quote, drawn directly from our biological source material. This is in the form of information, in the form of nerve impulse. I wanted to highlight this because, honestly, it's so easy to get lost in all the anatomical jargon, right? Cytons, axons, Nissl granules. But at the end of the day, what are we actually talking about here? We're talking about pure information. From the exact second the dendrites catch the stimulus, through the bustling cyton, zooming down the myelin-wrapped axon, and jumping across the synapse. This entire incredible journey is simply a piece of information safely traveling as a nerve impulse. Which brings us to a truly mind-bending thought to wrap up our explainer today. If a single impulse travels this highly specific, highly complex 4-step path in just a tiny fraction of a second, can you imagine the millions upon millions of simultaneous impulses currently firing to control your every single thought, heartbeat, and movement right now? The sheer scale and speed of our control and coordination network is just staggering. Thank you so much for joining me on this microscopic tour, and never stop marveling at the incredible biology working inside you every single day.